Alright, we're back. We just went underneath the canal. We still have our explosive trailer made for cars. Our truck is in neutral. And let's give the BBC some more...
We've got a humanitarian issue here. It's not just about migrants.
It's about representing Christianity, John O'Connell.
All of the things that were just described by the Reverend, how the church helped people, and you know, these people are coming from very desperate and quite sort of horrific situations in the church.
Now we're back on Europe proper. We don't have to worry about, you know,
separate things, and when the BBC
things being in miles per hour, which is ridiculous.
Into the debate, whether it meant to or not, I would add.
We don't have to worry about driving slowly because we have big roads.
Like this, when this issue is such a political
and
potato almost, everything from the humanitarian crisis.
We just have to worry about the French.
Can see on their screens
because they have toll roads. Toll roads are low. They're lame. They're kind of expensive.
And you know, and
maybe that's just for trucks. They're expensive. Maybe driving 90 through here, not a good idea. In the rain, whatever.
But the BBC choosing to put this program on, whether they meant it or not, seems to me to give the perception that they are entering the sort of political debate on one side.
Yeah, well, that would be true, except for the fact that in my church in Derby, we have got Iraqi refugees who are living with us, whose church was bombed. I would imagine they came into the country through this doorway. So the reality is that in a very
now I have to remember that we're back driving on normal sides of the road.
We can't ignore them. And actually,
none of this British bullshit.
To report on this sort of thing. We're wanting them to actually represent the church as it really is, not this sort of, you know, all creatures great and small, or wherever it used. You know, Dawn French is not the reality of the church, unfortunately. Sometimes I think it might be. Certainly Rev is, but you know.
Don't get too bogged down in that, but yeah, I get your point. John,
all right,
John,
we've made it. Let's get to Poland.
I mean, the Reverend.
It should take us not as long to get through most of these countries because
this is exactly what the church should be
we
doing,
can drive really, really fast,
and
we're not passing out, which is always good.
If we can withdraw from that from a second, because that's wonderful. Everybody wants that to happen, but if we withdraw from that for a second and just think about the issue that we're talking about here, which is the BBC
90
getting involved in the issue, whether they meant to or not, they've created a perception that they are entering this political debate, because it is a political.
Oh, we're gonna get charged.
And there's a perception.
That's what our
one side of the argument here.
That's what our employees are for, to pay our fines.
Side of it, of course, people want to see people treated with dignity and respect. But there's a very broad and very
this guy in a van here needs to get out of the way, please.
If it was so right.
Oh, I need to get in the other lane.
Why weren't they doing it before it was such a political hot potato? Why weren't they choosing to go in, you know, in the winter months when it was the conditions were even worse?
There's a lot of points to respond to there, but I suppose that the overriding one.
It's debate. It's very strange.
No one's talking about. Don't illustrate the problems necessarily, but is it the role of the national broadcaster to do so at a prime time point on?
Yeah.
Yes, well, I think so, because if we're talking that this is public
forward
TV, then for me this is a public issue.
Go.
You have the news for that, don't you?
Yeah, we have the news for that, but we have documentaries. We have
forward.
This is the one slot that we have still.
Might be easier if I was on automatic, really, but you know. One day, I want to get a wheel. I've been eyeing G27s. They're kind of expensive. And for this game, the shifter's not enough. It's only got 6 speeds, whereas these trucks are up to 10 or 12. Technically, I could just do the higher 12.
Thank you.
That'd probably be fine.
Could have talked for a lot longer on this one, but thank you very much indeed. Appreciate it. That's Reverend Alistair Kay, and also thanks to you as well, John O'Connell, Research Director there at the Taxpayers Alliance.
So maybe we'll just do that eventually.
It's not the whole show that's going to be coming from there. It's a couple of sections of the show. But tell us what you've just made of the debate, the discussion there. 85058 for your views, and we'll try to get to as many of them as we can between now and 9 o'clock. It's just gone 8:30. You're listening to 5 Live.
Yeah, it's 8:30.
Digital, online, smartphone and tablet. This is BBC.
Blast past that guy.
BBC News on 5 Live. The Sunday Times says the world governing body of athletics suppressed a study study which allegedly showed many as a third of the world's top athletes admitted violating anti-doping rules in 2011.
Doping rules,
the IAAF
man.
says that
All these athletes just getting high.
I
was gonna win a gold, but then I got high.
The Labour Party. The former Prime Minister is expected to say
How's my gas? We're doing good.
Got
a rush, since we already had a nap.
Winger who's favourite to become leader. Authorities
Although really, for most of them, you're given pretty long.
Firefighters are still missing after explosions in the city of Tianjin.
Firefighters missing in Tianjin? Shit.
Blast has risen to more than 110. Eurotunnel say there's been a significant drop in the number of attempts by migrants to get into its terminal at Calais. Security forces were dealing with around 2,000 incidents a night at the end of last month. That's
2,000 incidents a night? What? That's a hell of a lot of people trying to sneak into a country.
Administration fees charged by some car insurance
like a small
companies.
town.
It says in some cases customers were charged up to £35 for changing their personal details. And Seth is here with the sports.
Thank you, good morning.
Sports, great. What's going on in cricket?
Shots off the lead, but Justin Rose says he's in a great position going into the final round of the US PGA Championship. Whistling Straits. Rose is tied for third behind Jordan Spieth and leader Jason Day. Day, who's 15 under par, has never won a major, and says this feels very different to his previous.
Where's booking it?
My confidence level is high, but I'm just more enjoying just being out
there.
Rather than previous that I've had in major championships. I've viewed them as very stressful and kind of hard to
going a little too hard, maybe.
I'm enjoying myself so much on the golf course.
7 goals
I'm a road man, a load man,
this season is cause for concern
with 18 wheels and a serious plan.
He'll meet with his players today following a poor performance yesterday where they were beaten 3-1 at home by newly promoted.
Fortunately, we can't play good truck driving music. And on this, I'm not even sure if the BBC stuff will get. I assume BBC's not going to get taken. So let's hope. It'd be really lame if the BBC muted my audio. Really funny, but really lame.
West Ham to go back to the top of the Barclays Premier League. Elsewhere, Everton got their first win of the season, beating Southampton 3-0.
I don't think. I'm just gonna say maybe they don't care. Also, I don't think I've heard any jingles either, so it should be alright. I don't know if YouTube can match just speaking. Music's a little easier to match off.
There's plenty more live football for you today in 5 Live Sport. We'll have the whole Manchester City versus Chelsea from 4.
I'm sorry.
The England coach Tracy Neville has praised
deserved it
for the way that they bounced back from semi-final defeat to claim a bronze medal at the Netball World Cup. England beat Jamaica in Sydney to ensure third place on the podium.
What we did is we got behind each other, and I said this team always had my back and I've always got theirs, and I think they showed that today. Obviously,
they got behind each other.
What they did is they really implemented the things they've been working on, and I think it actually clicked.
Leave the flicker on.
Tomorrow he'll be world number 2, but today Andy Murray gets another chance to face Novak Djokovic in a final. The pair will meet for the Montreal Masters title this evening after Murray beat Kanic and Corey in straight sets. Sam Burgess made his case to be included in Stuart Lancaster's squad for the Rugby World Cup. Burgess made his England debut in last night's 1914 win over France.
I wasn't paying attention to my
does he think that he's done enough?
RPMs.
That's the question everyone's asking. Look, everyone wants to be in the squad. We're not going to hide from that, but really it's at the back of my mind. I'm really enjoying the time I'm spending with the teammates. I'm just going to enjoy every moment here, I guess, tonight included. So I'll take it day by day, mate. Enjoy learning, and what will be in the end.
Ireland beat Scotland 28-22 in Dublin, but Scotland's Ryan Grant now is a doubt for the World Cup. He suffered an ankle injury.
Apparently, we're going.
We
gotta slow down.
Great Britain sent to the European Championships in Bulgaria won medals. Lightweight Joe Cordoner's gold kept the team's best ever performance at the event. In Rugby League, Wakefield picked up their first win of the qualifiers with a 48-18 victory over Bradford. And Lancashire
can't pass on a double line. We'll speed 130 the whole way, but
they do go through,
losing
fewer wickets.
This is BBC 5 Live on digital, online, smartphone and tablet.
What was that buzzing during your summary? Some people might have heard.
Just a reminder from my silent alarm that I wear on my wrist.
What a silent alarm on your wrist?
Yes, it does apparently wake you up.
Embrace technology.
But anyway, it's time for school.
It's time for school, is it?
That's what it tells me.
I thought it sounded like a razor. I thought you were going to have your much-needed shaves. Thank you. Some of your texts in response to the debate that we just heard regarding this evening's Songs of Praise. As I say, this has really got you going this morning. Songs of Praise in the Jungle. Asked this listener, well done BBC, money well used, and the Taxpayers Alliance are as usual just a mouthpiece for the anti-BBC lobby.
Not sure whether the BBC should or are entering the debate on migrants, but Songs of Praise showing active Christian faith is good. That's a tweet from Happy Baggy.
Furious and disgusted to hear that the BBC are holding their so-called religious Songs of Praise from Calais. Hope they all pray that the illegal immigrants are sent back to where they came from, safely, and as soon as possible they do add.
Hard one from Anushka here. Since when is just showing poverty a political act? What next? No Syria on the news, no mention of benefit cuts, self-censorship.
At BBC 5 Live, if you want to get involved on social media,
yep, let's get involved in this BBC.
How are we doing on the weather front today?
Talking about BBC talks a lot about illegal immigrants. They must have like a huge problem with it. Maybe I guess we probably don't have as much of a problem with it because all of our immigrants are like Americans. All of our illegal immigrants are Americans looking to have like healthcare. I guess probably there's like a lot of Chinese and Indian people trying to get in, but you know, we got lots of space.
As was the case yesterday, for there to be some showers across the northwest of England. That's the prime focus of the showers, I think. Elsewhere,
but I would suspect a lot of their problems are that the people coming in are getting into the system, like using a lot of taxpayers' money, whereas a lot of ours come to like just straight up.
Excellent. Thanks very much indeed.
A lot of ours just are coming to just do a lot of work.
Fire between Junction 20 at Clevedon, Junction 19 at Portishead.
Get their family out here.
And traffic being held there at the moment. In Kent, a breakdown on the M20.
Too busy talking, not busy enough paying attention.
Junction 7, one lane closed there.
To this
also
road.
In Kent on the M25 clockwise, another breakdown. One lane closed between Junction 5 at the M26 and Junction
Don't hang out in the
M26
and M27.
2 lanes closed on the North Circular. Eastbound at the moment because of overrunning roadworks. They were due to finish at 7 o'clock this morning, so they're way over. It's between Drury Way and the Neasden interchange, and it's causing delays.
Football on 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra.
The Premier League is back here on BBC 5 Live.
The great artists on your radio.
Curry with a shot, it's low, took a deflection and bounces in. Bowling back to Curry, curling shot in.
Let's keep going. Yep. This would be, if you really want to play hard mode, turn off your GPS. Maximum hard mode.
Including this afternoon, 4 o'clock.
Until you learn the road.
Manchester City take on Chelsea. The build-up starts in 5 Live Sport from noon.
Looking forward to that, really, at 4 o'clock on 5 Live. It's 20 minutes to 9 now. Anna Holligan and Chris Warburton
20 minutes to
9.
9.
5 Live Sunday breakfast. We've been talking about England doing pretty well.
Britain is 8 hours ahead of where I live, so.
But they claimed a bronze medal at the Netball World Cup.
A little wobbly.
Caroline Barker, our very own, is in Sydney, and you've got one of the players with you, Caroline.
Scare the shit out of that car.
One of the players of the tournament, Serena Guthrie, alongside me. She's not just here.
Drive-through?
She's got the bronze medal.
Tell me what it's like. The great flag of Germany.
Absolutely, it's a nice little touch here. We've got
a finally home. I picked the worst place to start if I wanted to get that achievement for having a thing in each town in your home country. I picked Nuremberg in Germany. And
when you look around that court, a number of players that you've been playing with since you were so
maybe that's not the best place.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to easily take it over.
I looked around and said, look guys, we're so lucky we're here, we're playing with our mates, you know, we actually like each other.
I think Germany might be the one that has the most cities in it.
Like you say today, just for each other, and I think it showed. And winning by
I'm actually interested in
that grit, that pride,
how
that
big
determination
American
that
Truck
you showed,
Simulator is
that's
going to
all
be.
that Tracy Neville kind of
Like, are they going to do
embodies,
all
going
of
into this
America?
call, such sad news about
Like,
her father
are they going to
too.
do all of
There's a
North
lot
America?
wanting to do it for her.
Oh, imagine if they did North and South America. That would be bananas.
She's so strong. I'm not sure I could have done what she did in the same situation.
Be scary as fuck
fair
too.
play to her
Some of the
and
roads
support
in South
staff,
America
and we
are
all supported her
ridiculous.
the whole week, and you know, when it was game time, it was game time. If she didn't let anything.
Canada and America are
stop her,
probably
she
actually
wanted
really
us to
boring.
get to throughout the week. So yeah, massive credit to her.
So now then, for you, I mean, immediately.
Because it's all
Yeah, I
highway.
mean, like a bit of a rest. I
In
think,
Canada,
just
we
kinda
have
taking
a
the
national
past 4
highway. Like, if
years,
they only do the south of
yeah,
Canada,
you know,
which is
whenever
really
AJ jumps out
all
of
they
New Zealand,
need to do,
come next year, and yeah, so you know, I'm looking forward to that.
it's
and,
like
yeah, just
a
to
highway
start working hard.
across
I've
the
actually
whole
been
bottom
for 4 years.
of
4
Canada.
years'
Highway
time,
1 takes you
2019 in Liverpool,
from
the
Vancouver.
World Cup comes home. Will it be coming home?
I think it takes you all the way to Montreal.
Well, I like to think so, yes. I mean, I think it'll be
So you can go to
a
every
to a lot of us young guns
every
now
sort
that
of
might be a bit grey and old in 4
city.
years' time.
Then all
you know, it's gonna be a
all
fantastic
the
World Cup.
upper
City's
cities that matter,
unbelievable, and the crowds
which
and the
is
fans, and especially our England fans that have travelled.
Edmonton.
I can't wait for
And that's
the
it,
home fans.
basically.
Go and enjoy tonight, Serena. Thank you for
Is,
joining us. Serena Guthrie with the medal and a bit of Ayers Rock joining us live on 5.
It's just
Thanks,
another
sir.
highway.
Is that it from you now,
It'd be really cool if they did it all the way up to like Nunavut or something like that. I don't know if there's a road all the way up there. I assume there's a road all the way up there that you can just take. None of it's kind of in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Good tournament out here in Australia. Scotland finishing 11th in the end.
Or whatever the main city in Nunavut is. I don't know what the capital of Nunavut is.
Yeah, sounds good.
Look that up.
Caroline, thanks very much. Behave yourself. It's 8:43 now.
Well done to the Roses, of course. A new report shows that in the last year, £100,000 was claimed in expenses by members of the House of Lords who didn't
The House of what?
vote once. Peers don't receive a salary like MPs, but they can claim £300 a day just for turning up. Darren Hughes is a Deputy Chief Executive of the Electoral Reform Society, which did the research. Darren, what exactly did you find?
Well, what we found is that, first of all, the House of Lords is a huge
the House of
size.
Lords.
It's nearly 800 members, and
Yes.
there's going to be more appointments this summer. So we went about looking at what is going on with the people who are currently there, and uncovered the fact that there were 62
do shit.
members who, in the last 5
crap.
years of the previous Parliament, claimed £360,000 in expenses for the £300 you mentioned per day tax-free for turning up, but didn't actually vote on any of the legislation that was before the House of Lords. And we just think that just further shows how out of touch and out of date the House of Lords has become, and why it's in need for major reform.
What exactly were they claiming the expenses for?
Slow down, slow down, slow down.
We don't know the level of detail about what it was for. It's possible some were just there to be on a committee or maybe participate that way, but it's also equally possible that they literally did nothing other than to have a chat to their colleagues on the banks of the River Thames. It really is unaccountable, and when systems are unaccountable, this is the kind of thing that ends up happening.
And you're calling for reform. If you did reform the Lords,
Where are we going? Kessel?
Too?
I think we're staying up north
we think
in
there should be
Germany the whole time. I don't think we're going to get to go home.
The number of votes you receive should match the number of seats you get at Parliament. But at the moment we have the Conservatives with a majority on just 37% of the vote in the Commons, and that gives the Prime Minister the ability to make political appointments to the House of Lords, and he said he wants to have a majority in the House of Lords as well. So there's no connection between the way we all vote and then the representation we get at Westminster, either in the Commons or in the Lords. But what's worse about the Lords is that these appointments are for life, that they're highly political, and that it doesn't represent the way the UK looks. There's very few.
Run out of fuel.
There's about half of them who.
Maybe I should have stopped for fuel.
Either London
oh, it's
or
fuel.
the southeast of England, so it doesn't
700
affect
meters.
all the
Perfect.
nations of the UK either. So it really is
about
a
300 feet.
Because there's just not the democratic
2,100 feet.
legitimacy something should have. And then, as our report shows, there's good money in it for those who are part of the club. But you know that this is pretty important. This is a body that makes laws that the rest of us have to live under, but we don't get a say in who goes there.
Although there are currently more women and more people from ethnic minorities and people with disabilities in the Lords than the Commons. Darren Hughes, Deputy Chief Executive
Women Lords.
of the Electoral Reform Society there.
Yeah, moments of electric rugby from England last night. Let's talk about that now. There's some photos on a number of the newspapers. Obviously, the Sunday Times has got Johnny May diving.
Use my
in
engine
to
brake.
score one of those tries. Lift off is how they put it. England launching their bid for World Cup glory with a 1914 win over France, and there were 3 superb tries.
All right, we made it. Do we need to sleep? Not quite.
The hosts had to hold
Probably
on
next one.
at the end, though, after taking a pounding by the French up front, really. Ireland beat Scotland 28-22 in Dublin, despite...
I managed to make $70,000.
Cotter's side. That's 2 wins in a row for Joel
Well,
Ireland
driving
team.
this.
Meanwhile, New Zealand thrashed Australia in the Bledisloe Cup Down Under. So who's played their way in or out of their coach's World Cup thinking? Let's speak to Rob Kitson, Guardian Rugby Union correspondent. Morning, Rob.
Rugby.
Morning. And
Rugby's kind of cool.
Magnay as well, joining us.
I'd never play it,
Australian. Hello, Jacqueline.
Hello.
Hi,
Watch women's
Rob,
rugby.
First of all. Right, let's do a bit of a report card, shall we? Who's played their way in? Who's played their way out? Starting with England.
Well, if you're England, you're relieved first of all. I mean, it's only a dress rehearsal, but to win it, if they'd lost.
We're almost actually in another episode.
That wouldn't have been as you say, lift off would have been a very flat one. I think in terms of people who had a good night, I mean, there's no question that as you say, those tries.
Anyone behind me? I don't think so.
Wide,
Fuck it.
Watson, Johnny May, Alex.
Let's get back on the Autobahn.
And obviously
I'm not sure if this is the Autobahn.
A lot of scrutiny on them. Henry Slade, you couldn't wish for much better as a sort of creative midfield player, and Sam Burgess did what.
It's gonna be a long night for me.
Did,
since I recorded Dawn of War before this.
Get in there and crash around, Sam. Did he do enough? Because Stuart Lankard, he's got a big decision to make
late.
with him, hasn't he? Do you think he'll play him again next week?
I don't know how close I am.
Next week, I personally think I mean, there's 2 things here. One, I don't.
I mean, I could check the
conversation if Manu Tuilagi was still around.
Next time we stop, check the map.
They need somebody to replace that.
Near Amsterdam.
Physical presence in midfield, and whatever.
It's
else
about halfway, maybe.
Sam Burgess definitely brings that. So I think whether he plays next week or
a
not,
truck up there, I think.
I think he's pretty
that's a
much
sign.
almost there.
It's the Osfart. I don't want to take the Osfart.
Oh,
it says fart.
Slade, as I say, was excellent, I thought. Burgess, completely different type of player. Chalk and cheese. For me, you probably should be deciding between
Chalk
Sam
and
Burgess
cheese?
and Luke Burrell for the 4th centre spot with Slade, who can offer you a left.
Is that like, it's an obvious...
I'd have him in as
It's an
well.
obvious answer? Like, you don't want to eat chalk?
When Luke Burrell,
I don't want to eat cheese either.
and,
I don't like either of these answers.
A brief word on Ireland-Scotland, because Scotland, this is the same old thing from them, isn't it? Getting close, but not getting across the line.
Getting close, but not getting across the line. What is it, Vancouver? Wrecked. Take that. You're a Vancouver fan in hockey. You only know sadness.
Increasingly hard side to beat, particularly at home. So,
it's like needing to fap, but you have no hands. You can get an erection, but you just can't do it.
They would certainly love to get one of these wins. I think they're improving. I have to say,
You watch everybody else fapping,
that's the right expression.
and you're like,
I
I just wanna, and you get so close, you just can't finish.
All of this.
Your stubs just aren't worth it.
Tie ourselves in knots. Who's the best in the Northern Hemisphere? And all the while, there's New Zealand absolutely destroying a fantastic Australian team. And they'll just come up here and win the thing, won't they?
Maybe saying that Vancouver Canucks are a lot like amputees is maybe that's not a nice thing to say.
Michael Cheika had made quite a few changes to the team that beat New Zealand last week. But in
still need to stop
Park,
somewhere.
No one has beaten New Zealand for a generation since 1994. So it was always in their favour. There was also some sentimental stuff going on as well, with Richie McCaw breaking the world record of number of tests, and Conrad Smith and
It smells like someone had a fire outside yesterday.
Tell us about that, the
earlier.
reception and the ovation that Richie McCaw got, because he is just...
He must not be a
well,
fireman right now. Or maybe there is one and they just did it anyway.
And nobody thought that was...
I think it's been pretty rainy for the last couple weeks, so it's
probably
not a fireman. It's not like I live in California, where there's no rain and everything's always on fire.
The reception was phenomenal. He is the superstar. People say he should be the Prime Minister of the country. I mean,
he might do afterwards.
He very well might do, too. The good thing about New Zealand there, that all of their experienced players really stood up and and Dan Carter ran with the ball. You had Conrad
Is this
Smith
lady
all the time.
Australian?
And there were also some new players
strange
that
accent.
we haven't seen before that also really stood up, like Victor Vito in the
It's Queen's English, but it's
and
not.
Neil Muscada out in the wing. So they're looking even stronger than perhaps we've seen them before, which is a really ominous. You know,
I'm not particularly great with accents.
Bothering, Rob. It's all hopeless.
It's talking about rugby. Rugby's more important down in the down in southern land of the Queen. Oh, I just got charged. Yep, speeding offense.
And well, look forward to it. Not long to go now.
Worth it.
That's Jacqueline Magnay and Rob Kitson.
I'm actually surprised I haven't managed to flip it. I almost flipped it once.
Going to be out for the Rugby World Cup. We've got coverage of every single match. 8:52 now.
How are you feeling? Wide awake yet?
Should hope so.
Good, because we're about to talk sleep. A behavioural scientist claims he's developed a book that will send children to sleep.
Technically, I could save the game in between episodes and go to sleep, but you know, I like doing the whole. I like going all the way, if you know what I mean.
To sleep.
And it's currently best-selling book on Amazon, so it's number one. It's selling by the truckload. It's been translated into several languages, sold thousands of copies all around the world, and I gave it a go. Tried it out last night in the Warburton household on my 2 little ones.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, there was a little rabbit called Roger, who really wanted to fall asleep and could not right now. Roger the rabbit was just your age. Not older, not younger. Exactly as old as you are. He enjoyed doing all the things you like doing. To play and have fun.
Lie down. Right, well, we'll give it a go, and I'll report back on a hopefully sleepy room in just a little bit of time. Right, the girls have been listening to the story for around about 15 minutes. Is it lights out already? Let's go in the room. No. The scene's pretty much as I left it. The oldest one is sat up in bed, not looking entirely impressed. But it's not a huge surprise with my 2. What have you thought of this?
That's not a particularly good voice actor.
You feeling sleepy? That didn't quite work. I should say, by the way, I know there's the book you can read.
No, I don't need my windshield wipers on. It stopped raining like hours ago in the game. I'm just so used to having them on.
Maybe they probably not going to respond so well to a stranger trying to read them to bed anyway, but there you go.
We can speak to the author of this book now, Carl Johan Foran Erlen. Carl Johan, tell us, how does the book work?
Well, it uses different techniques to help the child to relax and focus on sleeping. That's the main part of it.
And I started to have a look last night. As you heard there, Chris didn't have much success with his little girls. It seems to be you employ the kind of techniques like yawning, incorporating the child's name into the story, talking very slowly, that kind of thing. Is this just a clever marketing tool? Because really you could employ these tactics with any children's story.
I wouldn't say marketing. My ambition from the beginning has been to help parents to get the children to relax and fall asleep. So it has been a lot of feedback from parents.
I don't know about
really
making triangles.
Finally got the children to fall
Make them go to sleep forever.
So it's a lot of mouth commercials.
We need to find a place to stop so we can stop this video.
And the fact that you're top of...
Oh, fuck! Oh, Jesus!